Salutations, my Patreon friends and family. I want to talk about something different. This may be one of the last videos I'm going to do over this, probably the last one, and I'll do a live feed over it. We'll talk about it a little just to get the information out there, all right? This is going to be this is concerning negative inorganic beings and the domino effect. The domino effect. That's what scientists call it. A set of circumstances creates an event that creates another, and another, and another, and another, an unending chain it can turn into. So that's something that I think that these beings are definitely using. And people that are listening to me right now, most of you have shielded yourself. You shield your personal energy very well, all right? So that means that the general attacks, head-on confrontations won't work with you. So the dark forces start doing strategically other things that attack your shields from several different ways, all right? That lowers your ability and creates holes so they can get in, all right? Now, one of these things will be that they create what we talked about in another video on either here and YouTube, I think, that's protections against negative inorganic being strategies, all right? One of them is they start using the energy field of those you know. So watch those you're around and that you interact with. They use the energy field of others, especially family members and loved ones, to gain access to you by creating personal stress, normally through the heart chakra. They're messing with your heart chakra, trying to get through in that way and create a weakness there. So be aware of that is one way that they're using, all right? Another way that I mentioned before is by creating financial stress. So basically, these beings are they're into cords and attachments and hooks. They hook you, and then at that point, it begins to weaken your energy fields, all right? Your shields, they become weaker by getting bombardments in different ways. So that's another way they create financial stress, all right? And that can come through a number of ways. A loved one coming at you, or also they get into fluids, like I mentioned, they get into your car, they get into your house, they get into the plumbing, they get the plumbing of a house, they get into the fluids of a car, and they start messing things. You get these horrible circumstances that just keep coming because these beings like to use strategically these short bursts, all right? And they come in these short bursts, which are multiple attacks that come right behind each other in these short bursts, and they'll be off for a little while, then they'll come again, all right? Another way they're using right now, be aware of this, is in cyberspace. They're using the phones, they're using Messenger, they're using photos you're taking with other people. You're getting cords like that. So you might be at an event with somebody you know well that is not attacking you, but somebody they're affiliating with is trying to attack you or has some type of a entity on them that starts messing with you, and you don't see it. That's very subtle attack, all right? So that's another way to kind of think of that, and these things can start affecting your health. They'll start trying to mess with your health, okay? So not just are they getting you to flare up energetically and giving them all food by energetically exploding or giving these negative emotions, they're also getting you to become susceptible by lowering your shields in a very, very tactful way, all right? Let's see. I've got actually some notes because I don't often go into this a lot. A way is to be aware that when they lower your shields, you become more susceptible to the triggers themselves. Whatever way they might come in, you just become more susceptible to that. So just think of that a lot. I mean, and like I mentioned before, that I think that everyone seeing this now, you're powerful enough, you're an immortal being, and when you really do a flash of negative emotions, it feeds not just one or two of these beings, it may feed legions of them. You may be just that powerful. So you've got teams like that trying to break down your shields, and they're doing it very, very subtly. Something else to be aware of, a way that we can get attacked as well, is through ancestral entities that are attached to our ancestors. Your ancestor may have made a deal with one of these demonic forces or one of these negative beings for what it is, material, and it's followed your bloodline after bloodline. Think about some of the great wars that happened over land here. A lot of times the people I've encountered like that, they've had a connection that have an ancestral thing attached to them like that, it was often over something that happened over a battle over land. So that can follow you around a long time. It could also be your own past life, all right? You may have blocks and cords from your own past life that are manifesting now and holding you back, whether it's financial, whether it's in love. These are things that are being used. So you're dealing with not just all the circumstances around you, your loved ones also, you're dealing with your own soul line history. It's serious. This is serious. But you gotta remember, a lot of people, for one of the negative inorganic beings' first defense is the hell, half of the population here don't even believe in them. So that's their first defense right there. They don't believe in them. You're open to all sorts of attacks, thinking that that's not going on, that we're impervious, that, oh, I'm a light worker, and if I don't think about this, it doesn't happen. It won't bring any of it to me. That's not true either. I know I had to break myself of that, because guess what? The brighter the light, the more you attract. That's not always true. Look at this place we live in here. Spiritual people and people that are really of the God consciousness and the light frequency, they're under constant attack. You are under constant attack. That's what this place is. Sorry, but we got to keep it real. All right. I'm going to make sure that I got some of this thing. I want to go over some of the notes, because as I think about this, so much information will come through, and I want to make sure I get this to the people that are listening right now, because this is not about vibing on this and bringing this to me. This is about disseminating the education that sometimes is not talked about. I see a lot of people talking about, oh, I clear people, I do this and that, and I protect people, but they're not talking about this stuff. They're talking about the same stuff you can look at any New Age website and see. That doesn't tell you what strategies these beings are doing to get into your life, to affect your life and your health. Okay, the hooks are in the energy field, I mentioned that. Short bursts, we talked about that. Well, like I said, you get a lot of this actually. The financial stress, be aware of your mind, the negative thoughts that come through. They start as negative thoughts, we've talked about that, and start building up momentum and more psychokinetic energy to start manifest into the third dimensional world out here. That's what a lot of those negative inorganics beings do. And once they manifest out here, you may not see them, but they'll start creating this chain of circumstances that creates one thing and another. Once again, the domino effect is not just one thing they're doing, it's multiple attacks from different areas on your shields. The heart chakra, other ways they're attacking to get through. All right, so, and also domino effect for us means incarnations, reincarnations, soul life memories, soul lines. No, I've said that once, but I want to really make that clear. Okay, so this is about breaking the cycles that our ancestors may have put on us concerning these negative entities, breaking the cycles they're trying to put on us right now. That's where the real healing begins. So when people talk about healing, that's where it should start. You can't just, if you got dandelions growing all in your yard, you can't just whack and cut off the top of them. They'll be down for a little bit, but they keep coming back. You got to pull the root out. And more than that, some of them you got to pull double roots out to make sure they're not popping up in other places. They're running lines, running cords. You got to be careful. Yeah, these beings definitely love cords. Something about that hooking people, hooking energy fields. We're dealing with energy fields big time here. So anyway, one other thing. Oh, I can't leave this out. Another major way that they use to get through is sex. Of course, it feels real good. Everything feels down here. Feels good down here is often bad. So they use sex a lot. You see that through the media. You see that with people you're interacting with. And a lot of times those that seem to be more negative and demonic in nature, will throw that sex appeal on you and try to use sex. That's a major way to get through shields, sex. So that's one more. I think that's about enough of that actually, and about enough of this. So just remember, keep your shield strong, all right? Keep your thoughts somewhat pure. Try not to vibe on that too much. Know how to protect yourself and wish these beings away from you. Use your force of will to intend them away. In your physical body right now, you don't want somebody around you. You're very well at getting them capable of generating a feeling that gets them away. You can do the same thing with these beings and use your creative visualization to get them away from you. But protect yourself, shield yourself, yes. Shield those around you, shield those you know. Watch it when you come into interacting with them. Their lifestyle, their life story can influence you. It's that serious when these beings are coming at you in all these different ways because they know you're shielded and they have to use these subtle tactics. You know, I think I think the quote is from Training Day. Denzel told the cat, they're playing chess, not checkers. This is chess, not checkers. I think the strategies may be about similar in that way. So that's that. We'll talk about. I want to just promote. Please try to keep yourself safe. Try to keep those that you love safe, and some of your belongings close to you. Try to protect all these things, and be aware that this is like a ring outside of a ring they're using. They're using teamwork, man. Big teamwork against individual warriors like you. That's what they're doing. Remember that. Remember those strategies are against you. Thank you for coming here with me. Sorry I don't want to dwell on this a lot. We'll do a live feed about it and I'll answer some questions. Put your questions up there. I'll talk about it a little more. I'll probably do something that addresses this a little bit more. Please look the other videos. I think there's one more on Patreon here about negative inorganic beings, and I'll put one on YouTube too. So those three all will be at least like a trilogy that helps deal with this a little bit. I don't have all the answers, but this information needs to get out and be dealt with, all right? And right now, none of us are gurus. I'm not a guru, all right? I've been studying my whole life, contact, all that. I'm still no guru, and I have more questions than I have answers. So don't let people sell you this new crap like everyone's a guru, a shaman, a priest. We're not. Most of us are learning. This is either a school or a prison, maybe both.